Hi, I'm Tom. I'm hanging out in Illinois. Hey, today we're going to tie a crappie jig. I'll show you the tools to use, the way to do it. We'll go through this real slow, and then it's up to you to pick up the pace and do them a lot faster. Anyway, if you're ready, let's do it. Alright, today what we're going to make is this jig right here. It's just a black crappie jig head, the white and red eye, a little bit of white chenille, and if you can tell, we've got black marabou and white marabou. Alright, so I said that I was going to show you some of the equipment that we need. We'll just walk through and talk about that as we go. The very first piece of equipment that we need is a vise, and you can get a vise, this particular one, at any sporting goods store. It's just a cheap, bottom of the line. I had 25 or 30 bucks to get you this vise, and you can go several $100s to where you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. Alright, the next piece of equipment that we're going to need, our product, is a crappie jig, and like I mentioned, it's just a jig, black head, white eye, red dot in the center. What I like to do is I like to start with the hook upside down, or I guess as it's in the water, it'd be traveling right side up, but I just like to start with the point up. Okay, and the very first thing we want to do, stick it in the vise. I like to give the jig a flick, and if it moves like that, then we need to tighten our jig up just a hair, and so we'll do that. And now, now she should go right in. I'll give it a flick. It stays in place. We're ready to go. Okay, the next thing we need is a thread and bobbin. Again, you can get this at pretty much any sporting goods store. My thread happens to come from White River. It's really good stuff. Alright, the first thing we want to do is take a little thread, run down the end of your hook, and just wrap it over the front, just at the base of the head of your hook. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap all the way down to the barb of the hook and hear that click. You don't want to go much further, because if you do, then your thread gets cut and you got to start all over again. And then we're going to wrap back all the way up and just keep on going with your thread. And what we're going to do is just make a few passes, that way all of it gets tied in together and you've got a nice base to work on. Alright, leave your thread, leave your bobbin hang, and I think what we'll do, let's take our marabou, we'll put white on the bottom. I think that's what we did. Yep, that's what we did on the other one. Okay, what we want to do with the marabou, is if it gets all fluffy, just get your fingers a little moist, pull that together. What we want to do is measure the length of the marabou from here to here. Okay, that's what you want, because when we come back here to the barb on your hook, you'll have almost the length of your marabou hanging off of your jig. Okay, squeeze that together. Just pinch it in place, and just give it a couple good wraps on here, your marabou onto the jig to hold it in place good, and then we'll just go ahead and trim that off there. See, because otherwise it just makes a heck of a mess and gets in the way. So just go ahead and trim that out of the way. Alright, we'll finish your wrap. We'll go down to the right where your barb starts again. Okay, and then we're there, and we're going to go ahead and wrap all the way back up, and we'll get some of this marabou kind of cleaned up a little bit. We'll go ahead and pull it behind you, behind the head of the jig. Alright, and now if you had one of those good jigs, now would be the time where you could just rotate everything over, but I don't have one of those, so we'll leave your bobbin hang. undo your hook, just flip it over, reinsert it into the and reinsert your hook back into the jig just behind the barb. Don't smash the barb, we'll have trouble, it won't be a good hook anymore. Flick it, yeah, it could be a little adjusted a little more, it'll be okay. As long as it's not bouncing around, you're good to go. Okay, so here we go, we got the black marabou. And we'll just, like I say, just get that a little moist on there so you've got a good marabou to work with. Kind of measure off what you got with the white. Also, when you're doing, say if you're doing more than one color, or say you're doing the same colors, always do it in two sections. Do a bottom section and a top section. The marabou lays down so much nicer instead of just trying to throw a whole section in there on both sides and wrap it in. It just always looks so much better when you do the bottom and the top. And again, just like the bottom, we're going to wrap to where the barb's at, and we're going to hold off there for a second. We're going to leave it just like that and dangle. Okay, with our thread hanging there, we need to go ahead and put our chenille on here. I like to run the chenille right up to behind the head of the jig. Go ahead and tie this on, starting from where your barb is at on your hook. I'm going to try to catch that all the way up too. There we go. And then just go ahead and finish up to the top base of the head here. Alright. Let that hang. We went clockwise with our thread. We went clockwise with our thread, so we want to go counterclockwise with our chenille. So bring it and just wrap it closely on top of it, not on top, but right next to each other. Just keep on wrapping until we get to the base of the head. There we go. Alright. Stop there, and then what I like to do is make a crisscross over the top of the chenille with your thread. So there's that. Reach around here and get that, and then come back on this side and maybe crisscross it 3 or 4 good times to make it in there good so it doesn't come out when fish are trying to bite it. And then maybe finish off with 2 or 3 good wraps around the neck. Alright, stick your scissors in there. That's really one of your main tools is your scissors. Nice sharp pair of scissors. Alright, so basically the fly is done, it's finished, looks pretty good. Here's that other one. I mean, they look just alike, basically. And it's ready to go, except for your knot at the end. Every one of them's got to have a knot, or it will fall apart. So this is my most important tool that I have besides the vise. It's called a whip finishing tool, and it makes your knot. So what you do here, just grab the hook, just grab the thread with the hook, and come on around. Now I put my finger on the end here, just spin it, and then if you can see there, you've kind of got a triangle. I lay the string right over the top, the back of the jig. Alright, and then basically all you do is just rotate it around the neck about 5 times. And if you got to pull your thread out, go ahead and pull it, but you don't want to pull it too hard. Here's the amount of pressure you want on it. You want to hear this little bit of a ping. Hear that? That's the only pressure you want on it. Then hold your string, pull your thread at the same time. When you get down to the neck, let it up. Trim it off, and it's done. And really, you can get by without There are glues out there that they sell. This is just a clear fingernail polish. It works just as good. The only thing you have to do, put a little bit of fingernail polish on the top here to hold that thread in there. And if I can turn this jig over, put a little bit on the bottom, just like that. And this jig is done. There you go, just a little bit of adjusting here and there, and you got your very own jig. The beauty about these jigs is they are your own jigs, they are your own colors, and I know you can buy these at the store, but you can make any color combination you want to. And like I say, the absolute coolest thing about tying your own jigs is they are your own. And the first time you catch a fish on them, you'll know what I mean. Alright, that's it. I hope you enjoyed hanging out in Illinois today. I hope watching do the crappie jigs maybe taught you a little something. It's up to you now. Pick up the pace, get on board, and do the best you can. Until I see you again, I hope you enjoy hanging out in your own state. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.